So now we're going to show how to pack a suitcase if you're going away for a short weekend trip. The idea obviously is to prevent the items from getting creased, specifically the trousers and the jacket are things which you won't want to have creased. If the suitcase is packed correctly, you should be able to arrive at your destination, unpack your luggage and get dressed and go to dinner without worrying about any creases. The longest items we have are the pants, so they're going to go in first. First thing we need to do though is to make sure that we have a level surface. Putting the pants on an uneven surface is going to result in creases forming. So in the case of many carry-on luggage, you've got a carry handlebar that's in the back of the suitcase, and that gives you uneven surface. So the way to level that out is to put smaller items into the recesses which either won't crease, or items such as underwear where we're not concerned about creases. First thing to do though is to put your tissue paper down to protect the clothing. There's our tissue paper. Now we're going to start filling up that hollow. As you pack, you can adjust and see what fits where, what you can best fill up the spaces. There we go. So now I think we've created a nice level surface to start our first layer, so that we don't end up causing additional creases on the trousers. The next thing is to add a sheet of tissue paper. The tissue paper is basically serving couple of functions, the most important of which is to separate fabrics. Light and dark color fabrics, the color from the dark fabric can come off on the light fabric, or what you may find is that synthetic fabrics can pull if they're up against natural fabrics, and movement causes the fabric to rub against each other. So you want to make sure that doesn't happen. Now that we have a flat surface, we can put our trousers in. You'll notice that the trousers have to hang out because they're too long. Normally what would happen is that people would fold the trousers over, but you'd automatically be creating a crease right on the knee, which is very visible. You don't want to do that. Ideally we would want to put the jacket into the suitcase flat, but you can see that because of the size of the suitcase it's simply not possible to do that. The other option is to take one of the sleeves and to bring it inside out along with the shoulder that is attached to. That shoulder will then slot very neatly into the other shoulder, and as you can see, you've halved the width of your jacket, making it possible to fit into a smaller suitcase. In order to prevent the sleeve, which is on the inside, from creasing, we need to stuff it with tissue paper. Otherwise, when the suitcase is packed, it's simply going to be crushed and you're going to have one very creased sleeve. We do this with tissue paper. Be generous with your tissue paper. Make it sort of a sausage. You see the sleeve is a lot fuller now, and simply slips. Of course, the layer of tissue paper should have gone in first. Be careful to put the collar too close to the edge of the suitcase. If you do, when you fold the trousers over, you're going to end up crushing that. Okay? So just a little bit more tissue paper to prevent the collar and the shoulder from being crushed. Okay. Next thing we want to pack is our shirt. Here we always do up the top button on the collar, the middle button, and a button right at the bottom. So we flip it onto its face. And here we're going to use a piece of card which is designed to protect the shirt while it's folded. It also makes it easier for us to fold the shirt. If you don't have something like this, you can always use a magazine. The idea is to give you a nice solid surface to work across. We bring the shirt across making sure that the sides are parallel. The sleeve comes down, and make sure to bring the fold right up to the top. You do the same on the other side. If you've done this correctly, your cuffs should be at the same height as each other. You can fold the shirt on the joint between the cuff and the sleeve, so that if you have a crease forming here, it's not so visible when you're wearing the shirt. And then one more fold. Now, in order to prevent a crease from forming in that fold, you take some tissue paper and just put it in there to bolster the fold. Now, in order to prevent the collar from being crushed, we can use this cutout, which is usually in the backing. It just slips under the collar here and goes in there. If you don't have something like this, what you can also do is just use a good old-fashioned tissue paper. And make a sort of a cape. This into the collar, and it helps keep the collar shape. Don't stuff it down the front, because you're just making another crease here. Now, because we have the jacket in here, there's a slight hollow, and you'll see I haven't filled it with something else, because I'm going to put the collar of the shirt in there. That's going to fill up this empty space, but it's also going to prevent the collar from being crushed.